right? So Ben Coleman going to be making that first snap on Saturday night. What ultimately made him the right choice?
It was trying to, I was trying to find the best combination of the best five, and it's all encompassing. It's the combination of the guard, the snaps, the right guard, and it was close. I mean, the next best lineup is Wade there and Ben at left guard, but it's just the sheer power those five bring, just because of their and they work well together. Not that Wade doesn't, but it's just their sheer power and this ability they've worked a little bit better together as a five, and so it was a good problem to have. And like I said, Ben, that was his goal. He wanted to play center. He was good with his, hey, I'll do whatever the team needs, and so that's how we came up with our five.
What did you learn about Wade, about cross-loving? Still a redshirt freshman, younger guy, but how did you see him handle things?
Yeah, you forget he's a redshirt freshman because he's so mature. He's got a great future here. I mean, I'm excited that he's here, and to be the guy that pushed the 6 and 7 year senior guys, that's pretty good. And to be able to play on this team again, we don't miss a beat when he's in there, and so future looks good. We're fired up to have him.
What does it say about the health of that room that a younger guy can push some of these very experienced guys that are still have incredible work ethics as well?
Well, that's the thing. You look at the makeup of the room is you got a bunch of older guys and 5th, 6th, 7th year seniors, but then you have a lot of redshirt freshmen, a couple of sophomores, but you have a lot of youth on your team. And when you start building the program, you fill your hole when you first get there to make sure you can compete and put the best product, and then you start building from high school. And so, in the last couple of years, we've been focused on the high school recruits, and you see it, man. Some of them are ready, some of them aren't. And so, we just got to continue to see them develop.
What was it about Wade's game over time that allowed him to kind of grow into being on your radar as a potential guy that could start for you guys at center?
Well, they all could start. It's just his play. He was just playing better, more confident at his position than some of the other guys. And so, I mean, his will to compete, his aggressiveness, his toughness, definitely stand out. But he's such a good athlete. He's great balance. He's got great body control. And those are the things. And he picks up the offense really, really fast. And so those are traits that you would like out of all the offensive linemen. If they all put it together, and everyone develops and everybody matures at different levels of their career. And, he was the one that was ready faster than all the other guys.
Outside of just center, what makes it so enticing to have 4 guys who are returning for your line group back for starters last year for you?
You just have to. They know what the culture is. They know what the standard is, and it's all the little things. It's all the little things on how to dress, how to warm up, those things, and they just kind of you forget about the little things when you're focused on your pass blocking, your run blocking. You just forget the little things and cleaning up the meeting room and stuff like that, and it just carries over with 4 guys that maybe I missed something in the meeting room, and they're like, hey coach, remember, don't forget about this. So when you got experience like that, hopefully all those little things carry over to the field.
What's impressed you about Tuitele being able to slide him into that left guard position?
He's played a lot of football, for a guy that's played tackle at his previous school or schools, to be able to come in and play guard and pick it up. He's competitive. He's got thick skin, and he responds to any adversity well. He's a big, strong kid, can move his feet, good balance, and he's got a lot of game. He played a lot of football. You have that experience of the flow of the game, the ups and downs, what it feels like to get hit by someone you didn't see. So, he leans on the experience and as well as our just learning our offense and our system and our guys and our voices. And again, that's what experience will get you.
Do you feel like Ben sliding from left guard to center kind of helped Meadows see that transition and see how he could do it himself?
I think their game, they learn off of each other, and it's not just with Ben. They have to be ready to play on both sides, or left and right, and so I think they learn off of each other. And I'm sure Ben learns off of Kyle Scott, and I'm sure Kyle Scott learns off of Tuitele, and vice versa. Tuitele learns off of, so I think they all take some good things from the other guys.
What's it like having so many of those guys that can slide in, guys like Wade, Terrell, McCool? Like, what's it like just having so many guys you can put anywhere on the
Yeah, the coach, my job is to make sure they're not, good at many things and great at none. And so you start to focus on this is your spot. Take for Jamel. Hey, you're going to play left guard, but you got to learn how to play right guard. But you're going to focus on him being the most dominant left guard. He can be. Same thing with Kyle. And so it's nice having that, but I got to make sure I'm not spreading them too thin, where they're masters of none and just good at everything. Where they've got to be really, really good at something. And so I think it's my job. I think to make sure that they're still focusing on their position at the same time. The what ifs and getting them reps at other things. And it's hard for guys like Wade and McCool that play guard and center. But those guys are mature enough, and Ben, they're mature enough to handle it.
Getting into the sorry, go ahead.
Max was able to get healthy this off season, but what other strides have you seen from him this off season heading into another year?
Well, his confidence, his balance, and just his ability to make an adjustment whenever the defense gives us. He handles adversity better than he did last year. That comes as he's a year older, he's more mature. He looks quicker, he looks stronger. And so, I think this is confidence in being able to get out of tough situations. As an offensive lineman, you always got to prepare yourself to aggressive, be fast, but can you get yourself out of a tough situation?
What are the advantages and disadvantages of having someone who started football so late in life, getting able to work with them?
There's more disadvantages than advantages, I'll tell you that. You got to understand that as a coach, you got to trust the process, and that a guy like Max isn't going to know everything from day one, and test your patience a little bit, but at the same time it's growing for both of us. And with Max not knowing what the difference between 3rd and long and 1st and 10 in football terms, and now him just being aware of situations and not just his job but scheme, and him just understanding why we do things. But it's a long road, I tell you that. It's still a learning curve for everybody, but it's a road that, and we'll do it again if we find another kid like that's got that much potential and that much want to, and we'll do it again.
Certainly not overlooking any opponent, but this Saturday possibly present an opportunity to get a good look at like the 2s and the 3s and the younger guys?
I'm just worried about the ones, and whoever we get out there, and we'll figure them out. I'm not sure. I usually rotate guys, and they're still battling for the rotations. But we're just trying to make sure we're good on 1st down and all the way to the goal line.
How has that been preparing for NAU this week and getting into the game?
They're good, man. They're confident. Their defense is unique. They're well coached, and they got 3 returners on D linemen that are really stout. They're physical. They're very confident in their scheme. You see them from game 1 last year to their playoff game, and I played in that conference, so I know how tough NAU is, and I got a lot of love for my Big Sky people. But they're good. They're tough. They play well. They play well with each other. The linebackers do a great job of feeding off the D line and so forth. The safeties, they do a great. Corners stick their face in it, so they're really good, and they present a lot of problems and unique situations that we got to be prepared for.
Just going back to Max real quick, was 3rd and long the most kind of basic thing you needed to go? Like, what were some of the things he?
No, he just when kids start playing football. When you play Madden and you play, video games, you know what 1st down is a run down and 3rd down is a pass down. And sometimes kids who, like for Max, he just, plays or plays, and situationally, just, being situationally aware and not just block plays. He's got to understand scheme. He's got to understand situations. And, in this game, it's a smart game, and you got to have a high football IQ to be successful at it. And again, he was starting from scratch, and so for him to understand situation, understand scheme, and then understand the why, what we're doing, what we're trying to accomplish, that's hard for a guy who hasn't played football a lot. So he's done a great job of coming back and telling us, okay, this is what we're trying to do, this is why we're doing it in these situations.
How do you feel like the communication has been with Bennett? I know replacing someone like Leaf with all pre-snap communication and checks that he does. How do you feel like he's stepped up in that aspect?
It's good. It's whoever plays center for us has got to communicate, and he does. He's done a good job. Any question he has, he makes sure that I know that he was unsure of a rule or of a look, and we correct it. He's got great carryover, and when you face our defensive line and our defensive unit, you're going to have to make some calls. You're going to have to make adjustments. You're going to have to make adjustments that are deep down in your toolbox, and and we didn't cover. And so he's done a great job of that and putting us in all on the same page. And then I told him, I said, you gotta have thick skin. Sometimes you put us on the same page, but it may be the wrong page, but we're all on that page together.
What does playing against such a talented defensive line do for your guys' preparation, knowing that this may be one of the hardest defensive units you face all year?
I mean, it's good. It's iron sharpened iron, and you know they got CJ and CJ Fight and Jacob Kungaika and Clayton Smith and Prince Norba. They got a lot of dudes, and then their backups coming in like, oh man, they got some depth. So it's definitely good because we're not just going against the scheme; we're going against different styles. And I think it gets those guys ready to face and prepare for a different person. Again, we're not just blocking X's on the board. They're like, hey, they're blocking this guy in this situation. So they got to learn who that person is and what the situation is.
Thanks, guys.